Hello everyone, and welcome to my LEGO room. I'm TJ the Brickwright, and today is very exciting because not only are we going to be announcing the winners of the Episode 9 Shuttle contest for Emperor Palpatine, but we're also going to be announcing the very next contest, which will kick off and start today. I know we're not really getting a huge break, but there's a couple reasons for that. We'll get into that a little bit later. First things first, let's go ahead and share with you the winners of the Palpatine's Episode 9 Shuttle contest. Number one is Parseval, who comes at us with an incredibly huge UCS scale shuttle for Palpatine. It was so full of details inside. It was an absolutely incredible build. It looked so good, had so much detail inside, so many cool little features as well. I just couldn't get over that fact, and the votes definitely show that nobody else could either. It was an incredible build and well deserving of a winning vote. So congratulations, Parseval. Second place was actually our good friend Mustafaryan, who I believe has actually participated in, as far as I can remember, almost every single LEGO contest that we've had here on the channel. So congratulations, Mustafaryan. You've got second place. I should be sending out those prizes in the next week here. For everyone who participated, you will be receiving an email with a discount coupon that you can use at my Rubricable store that should discount any of the instructions by 80%. So for any of my usual $5 instructions, you'll be able to get them for $1. And for the more expensive ones, the $10 instructions, you'll get them for $2. So that's pretty awesome. I hope you're able to take advantage of that. I always recommend people picking up instructions, even if you don't have the parts to build it. Sometimes it's cool to look through and see the techniques that are used and to learn new ways to do things. I actually do that myself with official LEGO instructions. If I'm never going to get a set, I'll still pull up the instructions and look through it and see what the techniques would be to actually build that and see if there's something new you can learn. So I highly recommend it. All right. So everybody, I'm sure, wants to know what the next contest is. And if you go back in time about a year, we had the Razor Crest Mark II contest. And at the end of that contest, I announced a very short contest as well. And that's because we're going to be finishing off Mynock Squadron. A long time ago, in a LEGO room far, far away, a contest was held to determine the third member of Mynock Squadron, which turned out to be Mynock 3 over here, a modified N1 starfighter. Turns out that was actually a little tease of what was to come in the actual Star Wars universe. Let's hope that maybe we see something similar in this contest, right? Since the day that Mynock 3 was decided, I've tried multiple times to round out the last two members of that squadron. I originally thought that I actually had Mynock 2 ready to go and only needed Mynock 4, but after I built Mynock 4 first, which is this one right here, I couldn't go back and build Mynock 2. It just never worked. For some reason, the build just eluded me. Well, as with all things in my LEGO room, when I fail, the awesome community of builders out there tends to succeed. So the Mynock 2 contest begins now. So first things first, just like the ships that you see here, your ship must be minifigure scale. Now, it doesn't have to be perfectly minifigure scale, like one brick is 1 foot or whatever the actual scale is. We just want your minifig to be able to sit inside, just like these guys. It needs to be a fighter type ship. No shuttles, freighters, speeders, or transports. I didn't think I needed to tell people no capital ships, because minifigure scale capital ships have so far eluded the LEGO community. I did have one thing. If you want it to be a bomber, that is acceptable. All right, so it just needs to be a fighter style, about the same scale as one of these things. It needs to have at least one pilot. Maybe we'll see some multi-pilot ships coming up here. To blend in with Mynock Squadron, the ship also needs to not have landing gear. It can land on the wings or a part of the body, but not on any kind of official landing gear. This is a characteristic that was carried over from the early days of my building before I could actually build landing gear. So Mynock 1, the ship was just so intricate with all the different studs going all kinds of different directions and everything. I didn't have room for landing gear. And then Mynock 5 ended up also not having landing gear based on this is based on someone else's design, Quentin Collins. And then Mynock 3 didn't have landing gear, and so Mynock 4 couldn't have landing gear either. It's now a tradition. Mynock Squadron doesn't have landing gear. Now, a note on color. Many people will believe that the final version of their build would do well if it followed the established color scheme of the squadron, which is lots of reds, blacks, and kind of grays. However, I'm not going to kick I'm not going to kick out any submissions based on color. This is for two reasons. The short nature of the contest, you may not be able to source bricks in the right color, and the fact that if you think that your color scheme would look great with the squadron, even if it doesn't completely match, I can't ignore that level of boldness in a designer. Digital builds are going to be okay, so it doesn't have to be a real-life brick build. However, I will say that it appears to help people in voting if they can see that you actually built it physically. So while digital builds are okay and will be able to be in there, I noticed that real builds, real life builds tend to do a little bit better in the voting stage of the contest. So that's just a suggestion. Submissions will need to be sent to tjscontest@gmail.com and need to be in the form of pictures. You're welcome to make videos, and I'm happy to include the links to your channel. But just to save me some time when putting together the voting videos, please send at least 6 pictures of your mock for me to share. That would be awesome. Thank you. Your ship must also be a modified or prototype version of an existing ship only. So we don't want anybody coming up with a brand new design for a ship. We want to use something that already exists. Now, you can modify it, obviously, as you see here. And, of course, you can do what are called uglies, where you have a mixture of ships that are combined into a single thing, like this one that's an X-Wing using Y-Wing engines instead for its thrust. This one is a combination of like 6 different ships. So, obviously, uglies are okay. You need to have at least one section of the ship that has exposed machinery. If you go and look up the instructions for each of these ships, you'll see that they have exposed engine parts and things like that. And that is also a requirement because Mynock Squadron tends to damage their ships quite a bit. The contest deadline is August 13th at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Oh, I think that may not be actually correct. I think it's actually supposed to be August 12th. So it's going to be the Friday, not the Saturday. That's correct. Yeah, so August 12th, Friday night at midnight Eastern Time. Then for a week, the voting will continue until the 19th, and the announcement of the winner will be on the 20th. So each participant who comes into this contest will receive a unique set of instructions sent out after the contest is over. The top 3 builds will get an 80% off coupon for the store, and previous winners of my contests are excluded from winning, but not participating. You're welcome to go ahead and show off your designs and build something fun. I will just exclude you from winning. The first place winner will get to have their build officially made into Mynock 2 and part of the squadron, and I'm going to work with you, whoever you are, to have your set made into an official set of instructions for my Lego room that we will put on Rebrickable. And then I'm actually going to build a version of your ship myself and bring it and display it at Brickslopes 2022 here in Utah, our local Lego convention. Oh, and there's one more build restriction that I really can't forget to mention. All of Mynock Squadrons so far have been based off of ships from one particular faction, the light side. So, Mynock 2, and this is actually something that has been in place since I was designing it, Mynock 2 needs to be a dark side ship. Now, I will add one caveat to that, and that caveat is that if you're building an ugly, you can combine light and dark side ships, but we want the dark side ship to be very prominent. I believe last Mynock Squadron contest we had a TIE ugly, so it was a TIE fighter pod with X-Wing wings, and that actually worked pretty good. And that would be acceptable. So you can combine it with good guy ships, but we really wanted to have the bad guy ship be the main part of it. And since the ship will technically be in the Rebellion era, We want to make sure that when we're looking for ships to inspire us and to use as our basis for our models, we want to go pre-sequel trilogy. So the original trilogy, even going into like the Mandalorian era, and then obviously the prequel and before that, all that is open and fair game. Legend ships are okay. I think I said that. So once again, the timeline for the Mynock 2 contest is going to be starting on July 16th, which is today. We're going to have the contest end on August 12th at midnight, and then the voting will end on August 19th at midnight, and that is Eastern time. So I hope you guys are as excited as I am. Last time we had the most entries of any contest I had ever held, and it was only 3 weeks long. It was insane. Now I'm giving you 4 weeks. I expect for us to break all of the records for how many people have participated in this contest. So I'm so excited to see what happens. I know I'm going to get inundated with emails like crazy. I'm super excited to see that happen, because there's nothing more exciting than for me to get a notification of an email saying, hey, somebody designed a brand new ship for you to look at. So, all right. Thank you so much. Get building and play well. Bye.